Well, I think it's the fifth time that I have the chance to play a tour in Taiwan within the past 2 years, and each tour was completely different. And this time I play a lot of solo saxophone, so I don't have my band with me, but nevertheless I'm meeting musicians from here as well. Also I have some meeting with my German friend Bernd Ruf, the clarinet player and conductor. So this is again a kind of challenge to play different concerts in different places, different situations. For me, the nice thing about being here so far from my home, about 10,000 kilometers, it's a different country, it's a different culture, and I have to learn a lot of things which work different than I'm used in Germany. So this is always a great challenge, which I really enjoy. And well, I'm inspired by the people and by the audiences here and by the musicians I meet here and by the whole country. I really like to be here in Taiwan.
Hello everyone, welcome to How Are You? Today we have two very special guests, Peter Lehel and Sean Cheng. Welcome to How Are You?
Thank you, hello.
How are you?
Hello Peter, you are such a famous international saxophone artist. And how many times have you been visit Taiwan?
Oh, I guess this is about 5 or 6 time I'm coming here, yes, already. First time was here 20 years ago, just for a short visit. And then I restarted 2 years ago, and now I've played 5 tours in the past 2 years, yes.
And where you come from?
I'm coming from Germany, Western Germany, and living in the south, pretty close to France.
Ah. And Sean Cheng, well, I mean, you have such a beautiful Oriental face. And where are you from?
Thank you. I'm from Taiwan.
Hi, 台湾你好。
对，我很爱我的国家，所以我把一些我喜欢的朋友带到台湾来。Yeah.
So you're taking care of the Asian market, or?
Actually, for us, it's kind of like it's not about market. Because our work is mostly to help missing children and the vulnerable children, 弱势儿童和失踪儿童. So we help fund for children and families, 家福基金会 and 儿童福利联盟. We help them to raise donation and also raise attention. If you only raise donation, that's not enough. We need people to care.
Right. It's very special. I mean, for you and for him, and for the people who participate in the concert. It's very
Even
special.
like their ambassador from Germany to Taiwan also love our idea, and they promote for us. I didn't ask them to put on the website, and they say, send me the information, and they promote for us.
Wow.
It's a good thing to combine things like what you can do best. For me, the best thing I can do is playing the saxophone. And if you can combine this with a good thing like welfare things and helping the missing children, I immediately agreed, yeah, that's a good idea, let's combine it.
Do you also do some charity concert in Europe?
Of course, we do a lot of concerts, charity concerts in Germany, but there I mostly play concerts for very old people. That's a different thing. And especially for the places where they are going to spend the last few days, weeks, where they are supposed to die. And those places need a lot of support. And I think this is also very important.
Right. I mean, about compassion is about everything. I mean, you can't just, focus on certain of people. I mean, we talk about love, like love is always about unconditional love, like how we helping the people and how we connect with the people. And I think art and music will be the best way to connect the people around the world.
Yes, I agree.
Well, music is especially the international language, so it's easy to come to places where you don't even understand one single word, and to play with musicians from those countries, it's no problem at all. Especially jazz is very open with the improvisation and the international language. Especially jazz is helpful to connect people very easily.
Is there any child like in the concert and was inspired by your artistic performance and then they start to learn some music?
Well, this is a good question. I'm talking about Germany right now because we have a program which we started also almost 15 years ago. It's called Jazz for Kids. This is, I play there with my quartet, with my band, once a month in a theater. We started 15 years ago, and we perform jazz music for kids, for the parents and for the grandparents, for kids about
Different
3 to 10. And this is so much fun, and I think we created quite a huge number of new jazz listeners and new jazz players. And meanwhile, we are meeting upcoming students at university who are going to become musicians because they got the initial shock when they went to our Jazz for Kids show some years ago. So I don't know any real cases, but I think we always are on the way to inspire somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe the audience is just 50 people. I think there's always at least one person who has a special moment with us, whatever we are playing. If we really play with compassion, with confidence, with a whole heart, then we really can touch people. And well, this is what keeps us going on.
Well, just because you're starting to do some like concert for the kids, just will be interesting for the future. If somehow for the kids they can perform with Peter, like 3 years, 5 years after of learning some instrument and music, and they can be on stage together. It's like, you know, the music is their international language. They will be able to jam and jazz together.
Yes.
It's a life experience exchange, you know, because your music make their life more richer by heart, not just by the money. But that's what makes the kids and people happy. It's the melody, right?
Right.
And you freedom their mind, you freedom their soul.
I can tell you why I enjoy playing concerts here, because each tour she organized was really quite different for me, and it's getting
a big challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, big challenge, and a lot of adventures and surprises. So I learned to be very flexible, because we also did some master classes, and we played, for example, yesterday we played in a school.
My high school.
Oh, your high school?
Yeah, I brought him back, and they were so happy. I say, Peter, would you like to perform at my high school? Just a small concert. And then when we arrived, 2,000 students,
right?
yeah,
Oh,
girls,
It was fun.
screaming girls.
Yeah, I was surprised in the first moment. Oh, what am I going to do? How can I survive? What can I play? Because it's a different generation. 15-year or 16-year-old girls are far away from my age already. So how to touch them, how to get them, and 2,000 of them, or I don't know, maybe 1,500. But it worked pretty well. And there was also a wind orchestra, a wind band.
管乐团.
And we had not much time to prepare anything. But it worked pretty well. I had an idea, and they prepared one piece, and we just performed together. So we already are doing this kind of joint venture. They are really surprised. What is this strange guy doing with us? And I'm curious about, what can we do? And it always works out great and belong to the most beautiful moments I can remember as a musician. So this is really an important thing.
Yeah, I hope someday you can bring Peter to go to visit some of the Aboriginal or indigenous village in Taiwan. There's so many kids and singers will be loved to to meet Mr. Peter and with his music.
Actually, this time I was thinking about it, but he only has 6 days,
Oh,
and we have
very
5
limited.
concerts and many other work. So maybe next time, but we cannot tell him.
Yeah, but please don't wait for another 20 years. Come back soon.
Keep me fresh.
Yeah, I always try to keep him fresh. Before, this is the 5th tour we had. And before, I always discuss with him every detail. And this time, I didn't say anything. I just say 5 concerts. And he came, And whoever he played with, okay. We even brought the break dancer.
Oh,
He
wow.
won the world champion. He led the Formosa crew. And Huang Boqing,
Okay,
Gino.
cool. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and they perform together and they inspire each other. Yeah, so it's always people can create something new together.
What's the vision of Taiwan for you? Because you've been busy here for like 5-6 times already. Like, if you can create a little melody about Taiwan, what would it be?
Well, first of all, I'm coming from good old Europe. And I want to say old Europe somehow. Europe is great. Germany is a wonderful country. We have a lot of nature. We have beautiful people, great musicians. But we have an old generation already. I will not say this is kind of boring, but it's kind of slow somehow.
Right.
And well, I forced myself to come here because I'm in my comfort zone in Germany. I don't want to leave, but I enjoy being here, of course, but, because it's so young and very quick, and a lot of ideas, and a lot of young people with strange ideas also.
Strange idea.
Yes, and many people, Taipei is kind of crowded. I'm living in a small village with 3,000 people, so this is kind of relaxed.
Wow.
Yes.
This is relaxed.
Yeah.
And it's like traveling to New York as a jazz musician. You go there because it's a melting pot, and you get inspiration because a lot of things are happening. And for me, this is just the same to come here to Taiwan, Taipei, Taichung Jazz Festival. Is fantastic to see 6,000, 7,000 listeners in the audience, very friendly and in good mood, and a big stage. This is just wonderful. So the melody would be kind of, well, modern, beautiful, and weird, maybe strange,
Strange.
wild, and very smooth also. So
maybe you'll
everything is
write
in
one.
it.
After you go home, you'll write one.
You'll write a song for
Yeah,
Taiwan.
song for Taiwan.
Yeah, actually, I already did a recording just a few weeks ago where I included compositions from 3 saxophone players from Taiwan, and also 2 Taiwanese traditional melodies, and I did my arrangements and turned it into my voice. So maybe this might be interesting if it's out. Everybody in Taiwan
Looking
can get
forward.
You mentioned that you were from a little town, like back in Germany. Then, how did you start to knowing about jazz? Because if we talk about jazz, we will think about like France or like like Manhattan, something
Yes.
more like a city places like that.
Yes. I have a good story.
Yeah.
I started as a young boy with the clarinet in my small village. It was a kind of wind band. I had lessons for 3 years, more or less good or not good. And I seem to be talented because after 3 years, they put, they just gave me a saxophone. It was an alto saxophone. I really liked it immediately. I played it and it was fun. And then I was 15 and I traveled to New York, to Manhattan. And I went there and I heard about jazz and saxophone is an important thing. And I went in a record shop and I used my small school English. And there was a black guy, tall guy. I was looking upstairs and I asked him, I want to buy some jazz saxophone records. Can you recommend something? And he was looking down. Well, son, what about John Coltrane? I never heard the name of John Coltrane. I bought this record, I put it on a record player the same day, and I was shocked. I never heard such a sound, such a beautiful sound. It was like thunder and lightning at the same time coming together. The next day, I went to Manhattan and I bought a tenor saxophone. And that's how it really started. I tried to play like John Coltrane, and I never succeeded, but it was always the most important influence because he was a very serious musician, a very spiritual person. And I could feel there's something, it's not only the saxophone tone, there's something under the underscore, under the tone. And this very deep sound was touching me. And this changed my life. This turned me to be a jazz saxophone player.
Then, I mean, for your style of performing, of your art form, what is the style of your inside of your inner energy?
The style of my inner energy, good question. Let's start from the other point. First, you have to practice to learn all the musical ideas, styles, and arpeggios and scales. You have to learn how to play the instrument. This is just a technique.
Exactly, that's the base for everything.
If you're a dancer, you have to teach your body and how to use it. It's the same thing with the saxophone. So you do it for many, many years, very carefully. And then you get older, you learn much more about music. So this takes some time, and you cannot say, so now I'm going to play my inner voice. This just happens. Some guys get it earlier, some never, and some later. So if it happens, then you are a lucky person. And I think I can tell myself as a lucky person because the music helps every day. So jazz is not only playing music, it's a lifestyle.
I hope this is a sentence of a very ancient Chinese philosophy. I try to explain in Mandarin first. Is 此时无声胜有声. So this is the meaning of the moment with no sound is better than sound.
Okay.
But it's actually with sound. But how can we describe an empty moment but with sound? Because when we're creating the melody, or when we're creating the notes, you're putting with your life experience, with your passion, with your knowledge, with your technique of training, and after that you have to forget everything, right? Because when we are performing, we're not thinking about this finger, that finger, the thumb. You don't think about that. Yes. You just go with your freedom of your spirit and your experience. Yeah, I mean, this is more like a bit like ancient Oriental philosophy.
Actually, you always like quietness.
Oh, right.
Right, you like
Right.
quietness.
Yeah, I'm living in a very quiet place because I'm traveling a lot. I play so many notes. I already played in my whole life, and sometimes I don't even listen much to music anymore. I used to. I used to listen to everything just to learn about it. But of course, you need quietness for your inner voice to find again, to get back to it. So you have to tell something new. But you were mentioning one thing, and this is about the moment. As a jazz musician, when you are improvising, these are the best moments.
Right.
When you just forget everything.
True.
You don't think about what you learned, you just feel and you just play. Sometimes you don't have this every night when you play. You cannot tell, oh, I'm going to do it right now and it will work like this. This never works, it just happens. And you have to be grateful. Sometimes after, let's say, special concerts in my own impression, then after the concert I should be very happy, but I'm kind of sad because I realize, oh, okay, this was a good moment and this moment is gone forever. Of course, it's somewhere in the universe, but just for 5 minutes, I think, wow, this is kind of, what's the word? It's kind of pity. You play everything with all your heart, all your energy, your whole body, your whole spirit, and it's just gone.
Right.
But it's like breathing. Well, I'm a saxophone player, so I'm used to live with my breath. So every note is combined with my breathing. By the way, my Hungarian name, Lehel, this is a funny thing. This means actually breathing, breath. Lehel means breath.
Wow, that's pretty
So
cool.
meant to be a saxophone
Yeah,
player.
Seems to be.
It's such a great moment and great name for you because it's inside of your character, right? And also, I think that's why jazz music are so different than any other kind of art form, because most of the art is about giving. I want to tell you my vision, I want to tell my point, I want to let you know my skills, but jazz is more about absorbing. I'm not just performing, but I'm absorbing the information from other artists or from the audience or from the space. Yeah. I'm giving, but before I'm receiving first and giving. How would you describe Peter as your friend or his performance?
He's one of my best friends. And also, I did love his music since the first time he sent me his album. There's a song he wrote for his daughter, Anima. That was a very beautiful song. And every time I heard him play, always different. Yeah. He challenged himself. I know what he likes, and I try to make it a way, create an environment that will be good for his creativity. I try to do that. And also, I try to keep it fresh. So he feels challenged, and he will create something new. I like to do that. Like this time, we actually had a traditional 乐琴.
Oh.
Yeah, moon guitar to perform with Peter.
Wow.
Without him knowing at all.
Wow. Then how you jam with the moon guitar?
Yeah, if you're a good musician, you have good ears. So you just have to feel the moment, to hear what he's playing, to feel what he's playing. And it was very clear. He was the leader, and I was just following him. So it was very easy.
I see. And how was your trip in Taiwan so far?
This trip?
Yeah, this trip.
Well, this trip there was really no time to be a tourist.
Okay.
That's a pity this time. But I spent more time already the tours before, so I had the chance to see some interesting things, also some points. But in general, my impression is this country is busy, and there are interesting people, and they are quite friendly and open. If you go on the street, maybe it's because you look kind of strange here, but many people are just smiling at you, and this is a nice experience.
I see. But do you know, in Taiwan we do have a saxophone factory. Did you visit it?
Of course. I've been.
Oh, you've been there?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm impressed by the Taiwanese saxophone industry. I heard about the first instrument was built, and of course I know how important the international market has got with the Taiwanese saxophones.
Yeah, it's a saxophone museum created by Mr. Zhang Lianchang, right? So I mean, he also loved the music so much, and he would love to develop this kind of form and art to let more people are able to learn saxophone, because the saxophone what he created wasn't that pricey. Like, it's easy for the people to able to have an instrument, because most of like if you talk about violin or like piano, like that could be very, very pricey. But I think like Mr. Chang and Chang, he would love to, you know, like more people are willing and able to learn saxophone.
伊个即嘛就是咱迄个阿公吼，是一个画家哦。他们在早期在1940年就成立一个乐团，那本身他是吹小号的。偶然的机会哦，就是那里有偶一把那个迄个萨双哦，都给烧去啊。阿公他是一个画家，也要制图，你知道？伊讲啊，你烧去迄都无落效啊，啊遐物件拢互我，吼，啊就一块啊一块去来迄个画即个迄个零件，啊才有迄个图表，等下伊就安尼落做啊。
这样敲，
这样敲。
哦 May I try?
阿公，
他想要试试看，来，试试看，敲敲看。
Ouch!
阿公的敲打，用这个物件就伤到他的眼睛啦，伊嘛是无放弃啊，就坚持做下去。啊，他就教了很多咱地方这些徒弟呀、啊，从1940年到现在已经70几代了，才留下这个地方产业。啊，基本上听到要萨松，就是来自台湾的乐器，在全世界都是很响亮的东西。
Well, but nowadays everything is done by machine, computer, no more hand making. And a lot of jazz players, they like to play the old French saxophones. And there's a mystery, a magic about why those old saxophones sound so well. And some talk about because everything was done like this with hand hammering.
我们今天有帮 Peter 准备这把萨克斯风。
So they specially
Wow.
prepare this for you to try.
Great. Wow. Nice. Yeah, thank you.
Would you like to create a saxophone band in Taiwan someday?
Yeah, but to be honest, you got a lot of good companies building saxophones. You have great players here, and they are all teachers. So
Yeah.
the saxophone family in Taiwan is increasing quite quickly, and I think they don't need me for this. I like to be here, and maybe I can inspire with the music, but I think I'm not important for the industry because you got already everything. So.
But we need your love, we need your compassion, we need your
Yeah,
guide.
this I can offer, yes.
Yeah, we need like your like ideas and your philosophy of how much that you love about saxophone. I mean, this is like something we don't really have that kind of root, right? You have your life experience, and we need your like knowledge and your philosophy to inspire us, right?
I do my best.
Yeah, so today is such a great pleasure to have Peter and Sean to be our special guests for today. Thank you so much to come to Taiwan. Hope to see you again.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Thank you. 谢谢。
谢谢。Thank you.
Thank you.